Hi everyone, my name is Camille Morales and I'm a research associate for the Young Scientist program for Blue Marble Space Institute of Science. And we're all about science, but today we're going to talk about science tattoos. And it is a pleasure for me to announce my friend from Puerto Rico, just like I am, and tattoo artist Krystel Ivannie. Welcome, Krystel.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Camille, for having me here.
Yay, we're so excited. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of what are tattoos and why do we get them. And apart from that, like, what can we do with them? So let's start with some of the basics, Cristel. In your own words, as a tattoo artist, can you explain to us what is a tattoo?
Well, the tattoo is basically the action of putting pigmentation between the dermis and epidermis on your skin. And it's used, you use a needle to do that to transfer the pigments between those layers of skin.
Ooh, so what happens like if we put some of that ink a little bit higher and not in the dermis?
Basically, what happens if you go way too deeper? First of all, it might not heal properly, and the ink may scatter into other places that you don't want on your design, and then it might look like a little shadowy, and it's gonna look like a little muddy.
Hmm. And if
So
you
that's
put it
not
a
a
little
good
bit
idea.
too high, that kind of
Sorry?
explains why you need to choose your tattoo artist properly,
It's
right?
very important. I always like to tell my clients to do research when it comes to tattoo artists, look into their portfolios, make sure there's like consistency in their work, and that way you can make a better choice when it comes to making your tattoo come to life.
So people, let me just recap there. So if the ink goes in between two layers of skin, right? The one that we see, and then underneath
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
But if you don't put the ink correctly, it could either fade away really quickly, or it can actually scar and create that blurry thing that
It could scar if it's applied incorrectly, and the ink may scatter into other parts of your skin.
we don't want that. We want a clean design and some science that we can actually see.
Exactly.
So talking about science, have you learned any new science with a new tattoo or a tattoo request from any of your clients?
I always learn something with my clients, um, regardless what kind of tattoo. But when it comes to like scientific tattoos, I've done a few, and they're always very interesting. They some of them they just have like a interesting story. Others they just have like a very personal significance to the client. Um, but yeah, I would say I have learned a few things here and there since I started doing like tattoo themed tattoos.
Ooh. And is there any memorable science tattoo that you want to share with us, and why is it memorable?
I'm gonna say the most memorable and like probably the first that I did was your tattoo, which was the Carl Sagan tattoo that we worked on your thigh. And I was pretty cool because not only on the scientific aspect of it, but also the technicality of it. In my work, I'm very known for my sketchy style and watercolor approach to my designs. And it was pretty interesting to combine that with the science part, in this case, a portrait of Carl Sagan. So it was pretty cool to design his face like in a sketchy way, but then also apply like little scientific elements to it to represent more of his legacy and his life. And a lot of those things were things that we talked about, the elements that was very important to you that you needed to add into your design. So I think it was pretty cool when we worked on that. And we did that on one sitting, right?
Yes, we did. It was,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, around 8 hours.
It was a long day,
It
but we
was
got
a very long
it.
day. I
Yeah.
remember that day very specifically because I had just finished giving a talk in a school. And
Mhm.
I always finish my talks with a Carl Sagan quote. So it was very appropriate for me to get the tattoo that day and bring honor to Carl Sagan and his memorial tattoo, if you can call it that way, too, and bring him some honor in his legacy, as you were saying. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was very very important to me, and I'm really glad that you were the one that actually made it. So
Yay. No, I'm very honored. That was a pretty cool experience. And not only that, but I also gained knowledge about Carl Sagan as well, because before that, I don't recall knowing about him before that tattoo session we had. Um, and so when we started talking about it, that you kind of like introduced me to him, it was like I got more curious about it. And then I found out that he also did a TV show, which was like the original Cosmos, the ones that we know with Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. So he was a pioneer of that, and that was pretty cool to see that and learn about it, basically.
that is really cool that you got to learn who Carl Sagan was and his legacy. Definitely, definitely worth a while that I could actually teach you something. No,
I
Carl
mean,
Sagan was amazing. So
if you wanna, you could say it was a very good influential moment for me, because science has been a big part of your life, and I'm very happy to be part of it too, in a artistic way, I guess.
uh, I remember that day very fondly because for me, the my journey of making having tattoos that are science related started like a year prior to that, approximately, and it just
Hmm.
got more intensified with the experiences that I gathered during the years, and
Hmm. Hmm.
having someone like you, my friend, and my coworker in that time, had that give me that opportunity to have him, my mentor from the galaxy, from el más allá, of how I say,
No, and I think
remind me that, yeah.
I think it's pretty cool the way you envision your tattoos on you, because every time somebody tattoos you, you touch them with your scientific knowledge, because you get to explain then why you want to get it in a certain way. Why does it have to be this way? What does this mean, or this and that? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. It's like, to the other artists that worked with you, they've learned a little bit, at least something that is scientific related.
And that is definitely Carl Sagan's legacy. So yay, I did something right.
Carl Sagan is definitely living through you somehow.
Oh, that makes me want to cry. That is my goal in life. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very
Oh,
welcome.
so, about talking about memorial tattoos, for other people like me, for example, that it means so much for us to have this person in our skin and forever, and to tell people
Mhm.
about it. Um, how do you think? Is there a way that you think you help them transition or help them with their any mourning process when they do any memorial tattoos like this one?
Memorial tattoos are always like the most special ones, and in a sense, very personal too. People get memorial tattoos for many reasons. Like in your case, you're just like encapsulating like his legacy, and using that to teach people about him. Other clients that I've had, they want to have some sort of closure. Sometimes memorials is just another way. Memorial tattoos are a way to heal, it is kind of like a healing process. Um, and it helps to, move on in life. Some people kind of need that. Either through the physical aspect, which is like the pain when you're enduring the pain of tattooing, um, or just simply having that person or that person that was special in your life, or even if it's like a loved one or whatever, have them on you. And I think it's a very intimate and special sessions when it comes to memorial tattoos, and I feel very grateful to also be part of that, because sometimes I meet clients with ideas. I don't sometimes know like the entirety of what it means. It's just, to me, it's just another day of work and just to sign it. But when they go into depth of what it is and what it's it for them, it's like, oh, okay, so this is a memorial tattoo. This is something that they want to like remember from this person or a pet or that sort of thing. And so like I feel like in your case, Carl Sagan, even like you'd never met this person, but it's been very influential in your life. And so because of that, it became very special to you. And that's, I guess, how many clients feel about their tattoos. It's like, I just have a very deep connection with this. And I want to have that in my body forever.
Oof, that's very deep. Yeah, so it's more than just ink. For some people, most people think that just tattoos are just a decoration, maybe for
I mean,
but
don't
I
get
think
me
it's
wrong.
also
Like,
also a way
yeah, I
to.
mean, don't get me wrong. Like tattoos, in a sense, they are decorative,
Mhm.
because they do look cool. Let's be honest, they look cool. Um, and some people, they do it for so many numerous reasons, and so it's either because it's decorative, it looks cool, it's a trend, just because. And in this case, because they want to create like a memory, or like in this case, a memorial tattoo to represent a loved one or somebody they care about, somebody that was influential in their lives. Um, some of them, they get pretty deep and personal, and sometimes I have to step aside and just like take a deep breath, like, okay, let's do this.
So,
Especially like tattoos that are like from somebody that passed away from a very young age, like children or things like that. Those are very hard to do. And so when the parent comes, I just want to like to give them a very fun but respectful space that they can feel comfortable with themselves, and they can feel comfortable with me, and they can explain why they wanted to get the tattoo in the first place, and just make a fun environment and be respectful at the same time.
that is something um, must be very difficult for you as an artist to have that moment.
Hmm.
This is a
Hmm.
very personal moment that you're sharing with your client, and they're making you be part of it. This very intimate moment. So I think it's very humbling, and I don't know the word to express it, but
I guess you do have two memorial tattoos, right?
yes, I do. Yes.
So you can relate in that sense too.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you also added the scientific aspect to it.
Yeah, I decided I wanted all my tattoos to be science related.
There
Other
you
even my
go.
memorial ones.
You
Yeah.
made it like a life commitment. I'm going to represent science in the most tattooy way possible.
Even my dog, she hasn't passed away yet, but even her tattoo is in honor of Laika, the dog that orbited our planet, the first dog that orbited our planet. So even that
Oh,
one
there
is
you
science
go.
related.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I even put like little ship. like a little chip on her head. If you see,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna see it soon. And it's in honor of the cat. The cat had Felicet. It had a little chip that they put in its head. So that's actually pretty cool.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
disturbing at
See,
the same time.
the more you know.
The more you know, you see. So during through history, I know that tattoos have been used for many reasons, and we're talking about memorial aspect of it, and there's always a religious aspect and decorative. And I think in one of the uses in that we think of from our ancestors is that they use it for medicine. Would you consider tattoos a medical practice nowadays? Is there any medical practice that you can think of?
Medical practices. It is a theory that's how tattoos be kind of like begin in the first place. There's been discovery, like in like I think it was like a mummy
Yeah.
from the where was it? Like in the mountains or something, like in a very cold area. And so they discovered this mummy that still had their skin preserved, and they found markings on them. And so some scholars think it was either because they represented royalty, and then they started looking into it, and they saw like they started noticing the areas where the tattoos are like the same spots that are used in today's acupuncture, like spots where you inflict the needle to alleviate some sort of pain. And so there's a theory that some of these tattoos were used to inflict the pain in that area to alleviate some other pain in their body. But it's not 100% like sure if that's accurate. It's still kind of a mystery. Um, Nowadays, there are many ways that you can use tattoos in a medical sense, if you will. Um, Not like a medical practice, because tattoos are just like markings on your skin. But they can solve or fix certain problems. For example, people that have vitiligo, they want to match the parts where they're like lighter on the vitiligo uh, areas. They want to match it with their original skin tone, and so you can do that with a tattoo. Another way that tattoo can help in the medical field would be like people, especially men, that go through alopecia, which is like the condition where the person loses their hair. And some clients, they ask for that, like they want to have like kind of like the illusion that they have hair, like they've been like recently shaved, but it's actually tattooed. So you can do that in a tattoo.
And they do that now. It's a microblading. It's also another, but that's a little bit more. Yeah.
It's that's more cosmetic, I would say. But that's also something that I've seen more recently, like the one with people with alopecia. They want to create like that shadowy effect of like recently shaved in their head, but it's all actually tattooed. It's like one by one.
That's
And
a
I guess the most common would be definitely for people that been through uh, breast cancer, and they want to like reconstruct their nipples. That's also something that's tattooable.
Okay. So for other people that don't know, there's a way that you can reconstruct or make the illusion, right, of a 3D nipple for somebody that lost their breast in a mastectomy. So
Hmm.
this process, what's it called? The process?
So the mastectomy is the medical term for the removal. the surgical removal of either one or both breasts. And this is to treat cancer, like to remove a tumor from a breast or whatever. And after that process, if the client wants, they go through the reconstruction process. And so they get their breast done, and then mm, that's where I come in. Like as a tattoo artist, I can recreate the nipple and the areola to give that realistic effect of what a breast should look like. And then some people go the extra mile and they can even add like a implant. So it looks like an actual nipple and then tattoo on it, like the color of a nipple.
That's amazing. So you can actually
Hmm.
recreate the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That is definitely a talent. And you've had this experience tattooing this type of reconstruction,
yes.
per se. And how was it like? Like, how did you feel as an artist, having this different approach to your art?
So the first time I did it, I felt a little bit nervous because when it comes to symmetry, which both sides have to be the same, you have to be pretty accurate. You don't want to have a breast with one nipple like upper than the other one. It's like you got to make sure they're pretty accurate in terms of the placement. Um, in my case, the first uh, experience that I had, the this lady, she had already done like the areola thing, but it didn't came out right. They just tattooed the color of it, but they didn't give like the texture and like the 3D effect that it needs, so it looks like a nipple. And so she came to the shop where I used to work back in Puerto Rico, and she just wanted like to redo the whole thing. So I looked up into different references, like because nipples are different for everybody. It will depend on the skin tone. Some people they have like larger nipples, or some of them are like smaller. Some of them the color differs depending on your skin tone. Some people they have it darker or they're lighter, etc. And so those are one of the many things that plays into doing the whole process. And then once we got the color right and all that, that's when I started. And first of all, it was pretty cool that she didn't have any sensation because it's kind of hard to tattoo in areas that are very sensitive. People tend to move and people don't tolerate very well those areas. But in her case, after the mastectomy process, she lost like the sense on her breasts, so she was having a good time. She was just laying there and just chill. I would ask her like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you like?" "No, I'm fine. I didn't feel it. I'm good. Just do your thing." So that was cool. That was very helpful for me, and she was very comfortable not only like emotionally but physically. Like she was very comfortable on her skin. She wasn't like shy or anything, which is also very helpful. And it makes me think that a person that goes through a process like this is somebody who's very confident in themselves. And I think that's very important also, especially for somebody who survived cancer,
Yeah, it must
because
be very
that
great.
yeah, like the whole process of having cancer is just traumatizing for many people. Um, and those that survive the process, it takes a toll on them, not only physically but mentally too. And so when my client, she got hers done, she finally felt complete, and that's a very emotional and personal gratification, because it's like I got to make this person feel better about themselves through
Mm.
a tattoo. And she was just very happy because again, she came to me because the first person that she went to, they didn't do a correct job and she didn't like it. She was very uh distressed. It's like, this doesn't look like nipples. I want nipples, And so I got to fix that, and she was very happy, very, very content of the final result.
So you think that would be another really good use of an aesthetic tattoo, and how it contributes to a person's personal process for something difficult
Mhm.
like that when they're struggling with their mental health. I would say
Yeah,
that's a great example of something, a situation.
yeah. Even though it's technically kind of like a cosmetic process,
Mm.
um, it does have a scientific term. It's called oncological micropigmentation, because oncology, it relates to cancer, and then micropigmentation is like you applying ink on the skin. And so yes, I would say it does have a medical aspect to it, because it's more like in the psychology and psychological field, sorry, uh for the betterment of person's mental health and emotional health too.
Yeah, you help them heal, like you said, like you make her feel complete, and that will be the start of a journey of healing process. And
Yeah, and I guess most importantly, it gives them closure. I guess that's the most important part.
definitely, and that's
Like they
really
can
hard
finally move on from all this trauma, and like, okay, I can finally start living again.
and feel proud, feel proud of the journey that they went through.
Hmm.
And there's
And
other
not only
people.
that, but like being proud of that, and being able to talk about that
Exactly.
to other people that can feel related, or that they're going through a similar situation.
And then you become a beacon of inspiration for others. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
that's one
heard
way to put
also
it.
that some people, like you said, they have the option to reconstruct the breast, and others don't. And I've also seen some tattoos that they just do an art form in the area, in the chest area. Some
Hmm.
people opt for that option instead of reconstructing it the same way, and having their body look more as a canvas. Um,
Hmm.
as a place to show off some artwork that reflects the way they feel about their journey. So that's another way of of a tattoo helping with mental health or psychological aspect of the process.
Yeah, definitely. Not everybody is a fan of tattoos. And so some people don't like the decorative part of tattoo, which is like, adding drawings and flowers and whatever. Um, but, some people, they don't like the conventional things either. And some people, they want to tell a story in a more artistic way. And so, like, the people that don't choose to have their nipples reconstructed, they go for the artistic aspect. And so it's like, I want you to decorate my, or what's left of my breast. Some people even choose to keep their scars. People like to see it as like a medal of honor. It's like, yeah, I went through that, and this is my scar, and I feel pretty badass about it.
Definitely.
And some people, they just want to like decorate around the scar, like put some flowers or something pretty, and just make something elaborate. Um, I've even seen people getting like a bra, like in a lacy kind of way, and turn it into like a really beautiful decorative bra. I think that's kind of like pretty clever when it comes to like doing breast tattoos. But the most common, I think, is like just decorative. I actually recently I did one, but it wasn't like on the nipple or anything, but it was like close, like on the breast area. And she just wanted like flowers and butterflies and the names of her kids and whatnot. Um, so yeah, so there's that decorative aspect. Uh, and sometimes people, they go an extra mile and they want to tell a story through a tattoo, and they have these random, well, not random, they're well thought, but those who don't know about it, they might think it's random, but they put some elements that you're like, it's like a conversation starter. So it gives you the opportunity to explain why you did that, you know. And I guess in a way that's kind of like the question that you get often, like why you have Carl Sagan there, why you have all these scientific things going on your body. And so people like to be storytellers. They like to tell their stories and, you know, share that with the community.
Yeah, we're a curious species. We love to ask questions, so might as well have some of the answers with us on our way, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, at least that's the way I think, but most people don't see it that way. Um, but yeah, so apart from that, all the medical aspects, the aesthetic, is there like any any new use you will envision for the future of tattoo? Like what could be a possible use there that we could, I don't know, something that we can actually um, help us in the future with the tattoos. Anything that comes to mind? Any ideas?
I guess
So you would like to have?
I've seen people that they tattoo certain things about themselves, in the case that if they're found like on the floor or something and they've passed out and you don't know what's going on with them. I've seen people that they've tattooed their medical information, like I have diabetes and my type of blood is this and that. If you find me on the floor unresponsive, this is what you have to do. But like in a very artistic way.
That's very useful, actually. Yeah, I'm allergic to
I've seen
red.
that.
Okay, you should have that tattooed on your in your arm. Okay,
Right,
you need
right.
to know that. Oh, that's awesome.
But
That's
yeah, because that way, you know, not always you're gonna have like all those records on you, but like in a emergency, in a situation like that, that you know, I find somebody on the floor, and I think the most logical thing, most common thing people do is that they check on the pulse. So if you like check on their arms, you might see that information as well as you check their pulse. It's like, oh, okay, I think this guy needs a candy bar or something. He's low on sugar because it says diabetic or something.
that is very useful.
But
That
it's
yeah.
useful, I guess. That's one way to put it. Um,
I think the
I
challenge
guess.
will be making it cool, making it artistic, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
aesthetically
Gotta make it.
pleasable.
It's like aesthetically cool, but also make it legible.
Exactly, because people have to actually see that it says that it's actually on
Right.
purpose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think that's one way to put it.
I've seen some of those new tattoos that people do the QR code. Some people do a QR code. I've seen some others that they do. Um, how do you call it? A piece of a recording, and
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
those are cool
tattoo the
too. Yeah.
recording, and then you can scan it and you can hear it and you can hear
Yeah.
someone's voice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing! I just find it amazing. And also when
And
they
that's
like do
also like
the 3D
that that
version, I don't know.
also that also falls in the memorial category because some people they want to like hear some their loved one's voice. With that kind of tattoo, you have to be very precise. Make sure those lines are in place so that when you have the phone and scan it, it scans correctly. I've seen the one with the voices, and I've also seen the QR thing. I don't know what's it called. That
QR code, yeah.
that people scan it, and then Yeah. And so you scan it and it takes you to a video or something. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool too. It's pretty clever. That would be actually cool because you could do a tattoo like that and in case of an emergency, like scan this and then it pops up a video of yourself like, hey, so if you're scanning this, it's probably because I'm passed out on the floor. So this is what you have to do.
Oh, that must be cool. I don't think anybody has thought of that. Maybe maybe writing it down, but a full video like, hey dummy, this is what you need to do. Help me out. You need instructions.
There you go. It's a full tutorial of what to do when you see me pass out.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about that
There
one.
you go.
And
You're
what
welcome.
about the ones that they scan it, but it's like it comes to life, kind of like the
Oh, the ones
wine
that have
bottle.
like a little hologram or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think those look
that
very
has to be like
futuristic.
through a. I think that has to be like through an app or something
Yeah,
to make that
definitely.
work.
I think
But
it's
it's
kind of like
the same basics,
yeah.
like the same concept. Is scan it and then have your phone like pointing at a certain angle, and then the magic happens.
And what do you think about those UV light tattoos?
I don't do them and I don't recommend them because technically they are not approved by the FDA. And they've been known to cause problems, skin problems too. I know people, they do it because they look cool, they've seen it on the internet. It's like, oh, this looks pretty cute and all, but it might be actually bad for your skin. So I wouldn't do it. Um, and I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't recommend it either.
Well, I think anything that you need it's UV radiation source to actually see it. It doesn't sound like it's beneficial for your skin. I think
Yeah, that's not something I want to have under my
we're
skin.
trying
I'm
to always
good.
like get away from the UV UV light, right?
Right.
From the sunlight.
Unless, unless like a good ink company can develop like a good quality ink that can, make a safer formula and have that same effect, then by all means, cool. Obviously, if the FDA approves it, then cool. But if it's not approved, then no.
So are other inks FDA approved that you know
Yes,
of? Yeah.
yes,
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
yeah. And some inks are even vegan. They have like vegan ingredients for some people. I have clients that they ask like, what are the ingredients? And basically, it's just like uh minerals because the pigments are based on minerals. I don't remember what are the other ingredients, but it's basically safe.
yeah, it's like some minerals, some witch hazel. Sorry for my dog. Some witch hazel and something else, water.
And it was with hazel. I don't think it's alcohol, but I know there is another ingredient. It's just very basic and simple, but at the same time, like if you don't do it right, it could go wrong. Um, but yeah, basically pigments are minerals, and funny enough, some people do have allergic reaction to certain colors. So, but it's still safe. I mean, I've had people where they have like a little bit of lifting on their tattoos because they didn't know they were allergic to certain colors. And then it does heal away. It did happen to me. And I got my first tattoo. I got, I don't know if you can see it, like this on the forearm. And so everything was fine, but on the red area, it was lifted. And I found out that day, I was like, oh, I guess I'm allergic to red. And so it stayed lifted for like 2 months and then it went down. So I didn't, I wasn't like freaking out or anything. It was just kind of curious, but it does happen. So
Yeah, I think
that's another
it's very
thing.
common, right? So that the color red is one of the most common that causes allergies.
Yeah, yeah. Red cadmium, cadmium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've had some actually allergic reactions to the red and certain tattoos too. Yeah.
Yeah, so what it does is like your skin reacts to it and kind of tries to reject it. It's like, no, we don't want this. But any other color, cool. Red, no. But that's not for everybody. Like some people, they take red really well. It's fine. But some people that like people that are getting tattooed for the first time that they don't know, then they get that surprise. It's like, oh no, what's happening? It's like, no, 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 it's fine. It's probably that you're a little bit allergic to red, but it will be fine.
Oh, so about those so what was I gonna say? The immune system is what makes the ink stay in the dermis, right? So I guess it's trying to kick out the ink anyways, right? Even if it's red, I guess, but you might
um,
have a bigger
so
reaction with the red, maybe because the
so
salt.
there's different reasons why your skin might reject the inks. It could be the inks can be expired. That's one thing. Um, Immune system can play a role in that situation. Certain medications also can trigger allergies on certain colors on the pigments. Um, and the way you heal your tattoo, if you don't heal it correctly, you don't follow your artist's instruction on how to heal your tattoo, that also can play a role in on how it's going to heal. And it might, it's like it's just common logic, like don't go to the beach for 2 weeks, avoid any sun exposure, because then it's going to heal awfully. You don't want that. um but other than that, a very well take good when you take good care of your tattoo, you shouldn't have those problems. So, and obviously, if you're getting tattooed with somebody who's been in the industry for a long time, then they should also know what they're doing. But sometimes, if you're getting tattooed by somebody who doesn't have that many experience, they might be winging it and they don't know what they're doing, and then tattoo they might not heal properly because of the lack of experience.
So when they
But
want
yeah.
to remove a tattoo, it, they can remove it with a laser technology now. So some people, yeah. So I think the way it works is like it breaks down the molecules of ink. It makes it a
Yes.
little smaller.
So what happens is the laser treatment, it breaks the molecules of the color of the pigment, and you eject those broken molecules when you go to the bathroom.
So the immune
So
system takes care of it. Yeah, yeah. It just like
yeah,
gets
yeah.
rid
So
of it
all
finally.
that magic, the magic of the removal, it's happening inside your skin. You won't see it. And when you go, you relieve yourself, that's where it goes.
Just like any other toxins. Just like any other toxins, like they remove
There you go.
right
Yeah,
after.
yeah. I guess the only physical thing you see is like the bubbles and all that, but it's part of the process. Um, but the ink, the residues that are broken, they go when you relieve yourself. So
Huh. Just for you that don't didn't know that getting laser removal is actually more painful than getting tattooed. So
that's what I've been told.
you
Yes,
should think about what you
it's
want to get
like
tattooed
five times.
prior very well.
It's like 5 times more painful than getting the tattoo. So that's why in the community we're known to say, well, think before you ink, because even though now you can remove your tattoos, but it's a very painful process to do so.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want double the pain for just to get it erased. Oh no,
Yeah,
no, I like that. Think before you ink. I like that.
yeah,
Point that.
yeah. Although I would suggest laser in case that like the person wants to get a tattoo redone, and their current, like they want to cover a tattoo that they don't like. Um, sometimes I do recommend laser just to tone down those dark areas because I'm a color artist, so color doesn't work well on black ink. And so what I do is I'll suggest them, hey, get like 2, 3 sessions of laser so you can tone down those blacks. And so when it heals kind of grayish, kind of ashy color. And that's way much easier for me to work on a color piece if the person wishes to have like a colored tattoo piece. It's either that or go black on black. You can never go wrong with black. Um, I personally don't like to do like a lot of black on black because I feel like we're emphasizing that there's something wrong with this tattoo. And so you want a tattoo that it looks dynamic and fluid and it doesn't look like there's something wrong with it or that it looks like a cover up at all. But if you don't, some people, if they don't do it correctly, it's like a big blob of black. It's like, what's going on? Where does it start? Where does it end? You don't want that. um, but yeah, like certain cover ups, I will use black, but also use like darker tones to also cover the tattoo that they don't want. You can use like dark purples or dark blues, and it also helps for the covering process. But when in doubt, laser is one way to solve the problem, sort of, at least partially. Like I said, for cover ups, you don't need to completely blast out the tattoo out, like laser the whole thing. You can just have like 2 or 3 sessions, and so it will turn gray, and it's much easier for me to work on it.
So you said that you mostly emphasize your work is characterized by the use of color and sketch work and watercolor style.
Yes.
And I don't know if we have some examples. Maybe we could show them a little bit of your work. And since we were talking about science tattoos, we can show a little bit of the science behind it.
Oh, okay.
So let's
do that.
We can share the screen. So I'm gonna show the tattoo we're talking about, Carl Sagan. So we have that example, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about it because there's a little bit of the style there.
There you go.
See it?
Yeah.
Awesome. 8
to
hours.
think that you did that on 8 hours.
Yeah. So we're seeing one of it. Yeah.
Something that I like about, well, there's many things I like about this tattoo. So first of all, this was kind of, I wasn't like on a experimental phase. I'm not very known for doing portraits, but this was like one of those few times that I did one. And I felt very comfortable doing it on the sketchy style. And also the beauty of doing watercolor style tattoos that you can connect the watercolors with other tattoos, which is what's happening on the top. Because the one on the top is like another tattoo from another artist, but they connect it with the same color scheme, so it looks like a whole tattoo, like a whole piece.
Yeah,
which is nice because it makes it look more cohesive.
You can see in the example here, the sketch, it's juxtaposed with the watercolor style. So it's like she's just drawing on top of it, but
yeah,
it's not that easy. It's not as easy as writing, as doing it on a paper. No.
And then also the other difficult part was doing the letters. The letters I had to leave the negative space so it could be white.
Exactly.
So it's not like some people think that, oh, that's tattooed on top of the color. Like, no, that lettering was left out as negative space, and then I tattooed it with white on it just to like really make it pop out.
Make it pop out. Yeah. Yeah, so you can
But
see
that,
a little bit of here of that example in the bottom part. I don't know if
yeah,
my pointer. Yeah, yeah. So she had to do all the
I
side.
have, yeah. So what you do is that you outline the letters in the colors, like in the blue, and then you have to outline it greenish. And then as you go to your right, you have to outline it like purple, so it matches with the color of the background. And then you leave that space, and then you color on this on that negative space. That's where I put the white.
Yeah, you can't miss the line because then just you're not gonna be able to read it. So you gotta be a perfect. It has to be perfect, and then probably my leg was twitching in, in the middle of all that.
No, but you did great.
I was probably too tired.
You were probably too tired. You had a long day, definitely.
Had a long day, and yeah, and in here we could see the Pulsar map over here that
Hmm.
was in the Pioneer flag.
Oh, I do remember that you were very specific about that. Like the lines, they have to be right because
Because it's
each
binary
little
code.
line, yeah. So I
I was
had
like,
to make that
I
as
know
accurate as
they're tiny, but
possible. And I was like,
please,
how am I
it's
gonna do
binary code. They're
that?
not gonna find the planet. They're not gonna find our sun, and with this
Right.
map.
But other than that, everything was pretty fun to do, definitely.
Yeah, with science tattoos, there's always um, well, us nerds, we are very adamant about being accurate, but we
Tell me
forget
about
that
it.
we forget that it's in our skin, so it's a very hard medium to work with,
Correct.
and so the artist has to, take down to earth the person, the science lover in this case, and remind us that there's certain things that can be done in the tattoo, and you have to, go get a happy medium and work on the design as a collaboration.
Correct. Yeah. In this case, we're not doing a thesis, we're doing art.
Yes. So if I really wanted all the little details of the pulsar map to really show up, it needs to be bigger. So I
A
needed
lot bigger.
a lot bigger. So in most cases with scientific tattoos, there's a lot of little details like that, and we want to be very extremely accurate, but we are not willing sometimes to give our full back to a design like that.
Yeah.
So the artist
And
has to,
that's the
you know,
thing. So it's very good that you mentioned that tattoo is a very different medium to work because when you tattoo small things on the skin, um, people forget that we age. You know, our skin ages, and so when the skin ages, the tattoo ages with you. Um, if you gain weight, your tattoo it stretches out. Or people that are bodybuilders, their skin stretch out, and so their tattoos will stretch out. And if you don't have a plan on what you're doing, like for example, people that are planning to lose weight, but they want to get a tattoo. So I would always recommend them get your body goal first, like get to the goal of the body that you want first, and then we'll talk about tattoos because I don't want to tattoo on a skin that's gonna literally stretch out, or it might be all flappy and then it's not gonna look correct. And then you not only that, some people that go through weight loss process, they have to have skin removed surgically, and so you're cutting pieces of your tattoo as well. And so I would always suggest to get the body that you want to get first, reach your goal, and then get your tattoo. Um, but most importantly, it's always better to go bigger. You want your tattoo to be legible for years to come. And when you do it small, they might turn into little blobs because the skin stretches out, the skin ages, and you have to be aware of that. And so it can be done, but I know how it's going to heal from here to 5 years. So I wouldn't do a small tattoo. I like to go big. So I know that that tattoo is going to be legible forever.
And
And so
that's
that
also something that artists want to happen, but sometimes don't.
yeah, that's
Oh,
that's my that's my debate almost every day. People want to get small things on very unusual areas or unconventional areas. It's like, listen, it's not gonna work. I know how it's gonna heal, and I don't want you to represent my work in that way. So if you want my work, my work or my artistic uh design or whatever on your body, we'll have to do it in an area that I can show it off well. A small area is not gonna cut it. So
I had a situation like that with this one, actually, the heliocentric model from
hmm
Copernicus. Um, it's so tiny you can barely see it now, but it's supposed to say Terra on Earth, and
uh
Joey had to just put a T. He's like, Terra is
okay.
not gonna fit. He's like, Terra is not gonna fit. I'm like, okay, you can put a T, but now you can barely see it anymore. It's all smushed together. So that's what happens with a couple of years. The skin stretches, the ink starts to stretch out a little bit, and it comes together. So
Okay.
you gotta take that in consideration. But I remember I was like, no, this is not gonna say terra, so it's a T instead of terra. But I know
But he worked it out. He worked it out. Shout out
he
to Joey
works it out.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, he did. He plays me with my T, a little T.
But yeah, see, those are the things that we have to work on when clients are very specific and very meticulous on certain designs. It's like, yeah, we can do it, but we have to do it like this in order to make it work because this is not paper, this is skin.
Let me see if I can show them one more of your scientific tattoos. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can. Oh, I cannot. Wait. Mm, There we go. Can you see it now?
I'm still seeing the Carl Sagan one.
Maybe you can see it now. Not yet?
Not yet.
Just let me know when you can see it. No, not yet?
Nope.
Okay, I'll stop sharing it and I'll put it again. And this is a face that a lot of people recognize. So maybe you can tell me.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a very famous face.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the most famous
Yes.
equation in the world. Most people that don't know science know this equation. So,
Yes.
so
And
this is how I
he
calculate.
like Albert Einstein is like his own celebrity in the art in the scientific world.
Definitely.
But yeah, this was also a fun piece, not only because of the scientific aspect, but also because I worked on different techniques. I did like dotting, sketching, and there's this technique that we call the pepper shading, which is like doing dots, but by stroking the needle on the skin, and it has like this dotting effect. So that was a very cool piece. I remember doing this one.
Looks really awesome. So there you go,
Hmm
guys. Let me just stop sharing this. If you want to see more of Krystel Ivannie's work, you can follow her on Instagram by at Krystel_Ivannie. That's KRYSTL_IVANNIE. Just to make sure you get it
hmm
correctly. Krystel
Thank
Ivannie.
you.
And we'll be talking about much more about space tattoos, science tattoos, and everything a little bit about tattoo related on our social media campaign for the following weeks. So you can follow Blue Marble Science so you can keep up with our stories about science tattoos. And also you can follow me on Instagram also by Kilo Mora. So you can see some more of this awesome information about science tattoos and this world that not many people know. So thank you so much, Krystel, for joining us, and I really hope that you can continue your journey and inspiring other people and being part of their journeys to feel complete. So that is amazing, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Those are
Yes,
very
and
kind words. Thank
I
you
wish
so
you the
much.
best, and keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you. No, and once again, thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We're always chatting about science stuff and whatnot. So it's always nice to do these kind of things as well. So thank you.
Yes, like we geek together. So
Yes,
remember,
yes.
if you want to share your tattoos, you can DM me at Kilomora again or Blue Marble Space. You can DM with your tattoos and your stories, your science tattoos, so we can post it on our stories. So without further ado, we'll say goodbye and we hope to see you. Bye bye.
Bye.